This is me, Zara Bazak. Help for myself. Is the evil people or what around the world, like called Hofer, since this thing has happened, and I don't know what they are up to. I don't have space to. I can't do much. I feel like I'm unmotivated. More is on me, which I can't see. It's like hypnosis without my knowledge. And I keep telling myself this thing, Paramahamsa Vishwananda's, what do you call it, the satsang recently I heard, and I feel ungrounded. I keep telling myself, repeating that, blaming myself that I have not uh, aligned my will to God, God's will. Uh, Last night I went through such uh, psyche. It was like, I shouldn't be talking, shouldn't be coming here. There are people who will blame me and all this. So they don't care. They only care about their self-interest. As we can see through the religion here, different views in Islam also, the Sunni part on this. Not that the Sunnis, not that Sunni Islam is right, but like people can't even use. Um, I think, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but I don't know what this is. So since that Colt Hofer thing, something on the hypnosis, distance, mind control thing is, I can't even throw my garbage out. I'm not washing this thing. I don't have space to keep the mugs and all, and the cooking vessels that I couldn't make food last night. I couldn't prepare. I was supposed to prepare food. I mean, I cannot keep ordering because I have a nervous breakdown since then. So this, and people taking me in the wrong way. But I don't think it's me because, you see, in life, there were times I never, it's not like, I never said anything to my molesters or anything. So how could I become like this, that I'm abusing after some time, and on just that thing that he may be a Shia, hidden Shia or something, and so badly abuse him. And before that, something has happened which is out of my control to me. If it hadn't happened to me, it is none of my business. We can help, I used to tell myself, but we can't help. Like if someone asks for our help or about our religion, only then it was like, we wouldn't go to friends' houses talking about our religion indirectly. I mean, that came as a surprise to me. When Saima Peer, who came from Canada, she would be allowed to sleep over my house or come in the, she denies talking, sending me hints like this indirectly. The Jew people believe that they have their way of saying it. I can't even talk properly. So last night I thought, oh my God, I don't know if there are these people who don't care but they pretend to care. And so I would have kept my mouth shut. My molesters, I just disassociate. It would just, thank God, my mother called her sister, things like that, and I had a teacher, a good teacher, a very principalized teacher in Karachi American School. And I loved her. Not fell in love, sorry, I loved her. So that kept me away. I wonder if there are these evil people, that they've got my mind. I don't know what has happened. Distance mind control. And through distance, the way you cripple people. So discouraged now. I don't think it's like, I can't even trust these people. No one. God. So I was telling myself that better keep your mouth shut. But I can't seem to do this here. Another incident last night with with Parma, on live stream. I missed his live stream, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. So okay, I feel ungrounded, but I cannot ground myself. There was a long time back that I used to say that submit your will to God. Submit your will to God. Align. Be humble. But I can't seem to submit my will to God. And I see, so no one can help me. I know this much, that there are people coming here with no, I don't know, my enemies. They seem to be like this. So it's gone case for me. I wanted to kill myself last night. And I don't know. Oh. So I think this madness makes me think that the Radharani, the grandiose, you want to think you are someone special, but you're not. Paramahamsa Vishwananda was like about India, he was saying that not there many people are just not, they don't have Krishna in their heart, even Indians. So all this, and the story he told us was like, maybe I haven't aligned my, no, I can't align my, definitely ungrounded. I'm ungrounded. And I cannot, in this conditioned state, align. I can't even go out for the garbage. My room will be full of bags of garbage if I don't go out. So after this Colt Hofer thing, I'm more incapacitated. And I know, maybe he's got influential people in Canada and around the world who know him. So they're doing this. Even Saima Peer from Canada, she was going to this crystal ball lady in a carnival. She said the crystal ball lady had said something to her against me. So all this. And even the principal, no one from their side even reaching out. It's okay, it's their prerogative. Like, it's very weird here, the energy. They won't let anyone come here. It's not like Saima Peer said that no one who can live with you. It's just what they've done now. My aunt could, because she lived with me. So there's, it's very, God, it's treacherous. Or is there like a lot of evil out there? Very evil people. So, Shias, Christians, so the ones who have kept silent. And I think the best thing, I don't know whether the best thing, but they had to keep silent because in this brutal world, it's, if you speak, it is against, it will go, they will go against you. And in such a treacherous way, the ones, that I cannot, the ones who have been trampled upon, some people have just made themselves gods or something. Maybe, I don't know about that. So, it's really scary. I cannot afford this. So, thanks to the Sunni part here, Tafsir, I understood back to religion. But I don't think it will make a difference. However, those silent people, sorry, I had to speak. It was too much for me. I had to, I couldn't breathe properly. I was suffocating, dying. Someone has put something. We can't reach them. I don't know who they are. And so it's, and also, I don't know, it's very shocking. There's a tsunami of covert narcissists, maybe because there are videos that I've seen, a lot of them, on this covert narcissism. And there's also, I think, since I was following Paramahamsa Vishwananda, so the will of, I mean, yeah, this destiny, there's the will of God, he was talking about this, but there's also the will of man here. Right, and so when in London something happened, I was telling my friend in London that no, God did not will this to happen. I think it is some malicious, someone's, it's the world, it's the people's will here. They want to separate me. Or maybe it's the person who doesn't, respond, her will to not respond, and I don't see it. So it is, isn't this the world's will? Like someone would say, well, now you accept the people's will here. It's the world's will. It's not God's will, like Paramahamsa Vishwananda, the story he gave us. Because then God would will that you get raped or something like this and fulfill others' desires if they desire you without love. But just because of your one good act, like the story he gave recently, he's in India. He uploaded a live stream. I'm sorry, it was live stream. Paramahamsa Vishwananda in India, satsang there. So it's, I think it's, well, in the end, like they all say everything, it's God's maslihat, it's God's will. And even in the Quran ayahs, I say, but I started to, I don't know whether I would, even that friend, she turned against me, but I had this, I don't know, it was like all hushed up. against this. Something about Saima Peer in Canada when she came over. And there was this person also who warned me, was a good person, and she knew how to send telepathy to me or something, I don't know. She was like telepathically telling me that it is the last time I'm coming to your place. Outside when when I went out to see them off, the way she looked at Saima Peer as we were sitting before that when we were in my bedroom, I'd invited some friends, and Saima Peer had come from Canada. It was like first her eyes open, wide open, wide open. So Saima Peer, originally Pakistani, but she's got dual nationality and she's Canadian. She's also Canadian. She wasn't born there, but she went there when her parents went there when she was. And I met her for O levels in Center for Advanced Studies. After I joined, she came. So the second time when I joined, she came. So there are very powerful people. Their mind power, their willpower is very strong. And I feel that they've got me through the psyche. Actually, I'm supposed to right now do things here, like my housework. So it's a really scary world with people called Hofer. Are they evil? Ooh, I'll go on wondering like this. Then nothing about my case. And those people who tell me that, I want my way or the highway, well, the people use their willpower to get their way. But they don't come in the eyes. So there's a Tafsir, where is it? Let's see how much I can talk. I don't know what the Colt offer was trying to lead me to. I don't have the heart again. I just went blank. I've gone blank now. But what I found out here when I searched Tafsir, that is it true is this from the volume of what's it? Kadir. मेरे माँ बाप की तौबा है, कभी किसी को कुछ नहीं कहना, वरना ऐसा रिवेंज लेते हैं पता भी नहीं चलता है. पाकिस्तान में जगह जगह पहाड़ भी. So let's check this tafsir on this. This is the Surah Azabad 37. Sorry, I didn't know. I cannot get myself to follow even the Shia logic that a divorce had to take place. I really don't understand a divorce. This is, as it is, it's damaging to me. It was a religious crisis. So I've come now this far and hope I don't stop, because people on the psyche level, they want to mess you up. And there are people who come here disguised. And then I don't know about Canada, the laws. whether you can take, I don't know who stabbed me from the back. One cannot recognize hypocrisy. And then there's covert narcissism. Then there's also gaslighting, psychopaths, antisocial people, sociopaths. God knows how many have been trampled down upon. Silent, silent people. So your voice, but I'm going to be attacked here. I mean, I didn't accuse the ones who did a lot of wrong to me. Like, there were times when I would just, let go and bless my enemies later on and all this. When I was in college, I don't know what happened. Maybe they had hypnotized me or what. I couldn't bring myself to curse them or abuse them. So in this case, maybe, but when I realized that they had done something bad to another person, then I would go away from them. I wouldn't have the thing to save myself. So it's not like what Nanga Bai said, that जो मैडम से पंगा लेगा वो नंगा हो जाएगा ना. शायद हम ही ख़राब हैं और आप लोग अच्छे हैं, तो ख़राब तो पता नहीं. जैसे साइमा पीर है ना, आप लोग अच्छे हैं. So what is this? And as ordered by the, I couldn't understand for the life of me this ayat. How could a divorce take place that then God says? So from here I had problems, but let me just, the second event. Now again, Prophet Muhammad is ordering, and there was no one to come here. They were coming here, but no one to point this out, that through the Sunni hadiths, Tafsirs, Islamic sources, whether Shias take it or not, God rebuked his messenger through the Sunni sources. So it's true. Otherwise it would make sense to me, this part of this ayat. You see? Goodness. So the ayat is, my God. Oh goodness, Surah. It's not opening. 37. So reading the Shia commentary, this ayat was not making sense to me. Even the commentary, fully trying to understand it, because now that I'm finished, wherever I'm finished with the contradictions in the ayat or some discrepancies, now I come to this. And so whoever cares to come and listen, there are people who have a lot of followers, but I don't want just, like, you want to do your will, you've trampled upon people. I don't know what you've done to people. But like now, recently, I'm an atheist. I think I'm going on the atheist side, because Paramahamsa Vishwananda, Hindus haven't helped much. don't know what this is. So I just have to use a Japanese mantra to help protect myself. So I'm kind of crippled here. And remember, O Muhammad, when you said to the one on whom Allah bestowed favor and you bestowed favor, keep your wife and fear Allah. So this is the second time. First, 36 ayat says that what it says, that the believers should not be disobedient also to Allah and the Messenger. And this is the second command again. So for the life of me, I couldn't understand. Shia commentary explanation about this part is not clear. It's not even mentioned, I think, if I can say that. Shia commentary on this part is not even clear. It's not even mentioned what this means. Keep your wife and fear Allah. Whether it's a suggestion, whether it's a command, they haven't addressed that. If I went to multilingual Quran, the commentary section about this ayat is under 36 ayat. Salahuddin says, Salam, have a peaceful and good morning, inshallah. Salahuddin, thank you very much. Greetings, alaikum assalam. Salahuddin, since you're here, the Shia, the Sunnis say that Allah rebuked the messenger in ayat 37 of Surah, the Tafsirs section. Is it true, all this that I'm getting online about Ibn Kathir's tafsir, that Allah rebuked the messenger here, this part, on this part, that he actually said this without it's like God disagreed with what he said here to Zaid, keep your wife and fear Allah. Brother Salahuddin. So the Sunni explanation is very clear on this, step by step. But I don't understand how the Sunnis can take him as a prophet, because it's but it's very good here. At least now I know, because I was going around and round in circles about the Shia tafsir on this, and it wasn't making sense. Now I got this, the Sunni tafsirs on this make sense. Keep your wife and fear Allah. So it says that Allah rebuked Prophet Muhammad. It's like without having a revelation come to him, he said to Zaid, keep your wife and fear Allah. Is this tafsir even? My goodness. So Allah rebuked Prophet Muhammad. What's going on here? Explanation. So going to the tafsirs here about this. Your own prophet is rebuked by Allah. He selfishly scared. He was worried about his reputation. He became a hypocrite. Yes, that is a reproach, as the prophet was somewhat fearful of going against the Arab pagan custom which he had practiced. Yes. So this is, okay, thank you very much for this. somewhat fearful, yeah. So when Zaid had completed, wait. When Zaid, go to her, so that he, no difficulty. Yes, so then how do you reconcile and take him as your prophet? He's made a blunder here. And then he shouldn't be so strict with others when he himself slips time and again. In Surah Tahrim, making an oath. So the Sunni Tafsirs, although I don't have been helpful, although I'm not a Sunni, but thanks to the Sunni Tafsir on this, very helpful. Allah wants to make it clear that your adopted son, is never your son, as pagan believe. Yes, but his fear for the people and how he used, to say to his, like this part, I understand that if, the pagan thing, Allah wanted to make it clear, but your religious scholars have a thing on this, which I can't find here now. Where was it? The contradiction in Quran. Exalt Allah. Even Alusi criticizes Prophet Muhammad, a religious scholar. Alusi, right? So what's happened is really funny here. Tafsir, pen, contradictions. So he says that Muhammad should have kept his mouth shut or let Zaid do what he wants to do. This is, if you take the Quran ayats, then your prophet's actions are equal to hypocrites. This time here he's a prophet, even the Sunnis cannot deny this. So he did a very dirty thing on Zaid, fearing the people, and we're told in the Quran ayat that he's telling Zaid to keep his wife and fear Allah. So the Sunni tafsir is right, it makes sense. Not the Shia one on this, like God, and it's not in detail even, right? The Shia tafsir doesn't make sense. But here I would say the Sunni tafsir makes sense. And isn't this a sign of hypocrisy? And when your prophet, when your Allah is very strict with the hypocrites, the Badouan and all this, can you blame them when the prophet himself is... I'm not saying the Sunni tafsir is wrong. I'm just saying, no, it makes sense. Yes, I rely on this tafsir of the Sunnis and the criticism by the Islamic sources themselves on this. I'm not sure what you did understand from the Sunni tafsir. Okay, here is the tafsir. Let me find it. Okay? Wait a minute. Surah, if I can get it. There's one thing I read here, if you can, did I, in my previous live stream also, but okay, I will show you your Sunni tafsir on this. Tafsirs. Allah's rebuke to his messenger and the story of Zayd and Zainab. You see here. Then, so when Zayd had completed, where is it? Please bear with me trying to look for it. This is Ibn Qatir. Let me see. Al-Mawdudi ala. Where is it? Quran. Where did I find it? It's changed here. I don't know where it is. So if you would bear with me, trying to search for it. The second event, as ordered by the Holy Prophet, the marriage of was solemnized. Their temperaments did not match. Informed through, though come to you. And remember when you were saying, you're not sure? I thought you knew your hadiths. I am not sure. Oh God. The one favored. Okay. Hold your wife in your bond of marriage and do not divorce her and fear Allah. The order to fear Allah at this place could also be taken to mean that divorce is a detested and repugnant act from which he should abstain. And it could also be taken in the sense that once he decides to hold her in his nikah, let not his temperamental distance become a cause of falling short in the fulfillment of her due rights. What the Holy Prophet said was correct and sound in its place, but after having learned about the event as it would transpire through divine revelation, and after the intention of nikah with the Sayyidina Zainab having emerged in his heart, this advice of not divorcing given to Sayyidina Zayd had remained at the level of a sort of formal expression of good wishes, something not appropriate to the station of a messenger of Allah. Something not appropriate to the station. Do you see this? Your own Muslim critics are saying this about on this verse, like your own Muslim Tafsir experts are saying this. The station of a messenger of Allah, particularly so because along with it, included therein was the apprehension of taunts from the people. He feared your messenger. Therefore, in the cited verse, the admonition was revealed in the words which mean you were concealing in your heart what Allah was going to reveal. When the information about his marriage with the Sayyidina Zainab was conveyed to him from Allah, and the intention of marriage had already crossed his heart, then the act of hiding this intention and indulging in such formal remarks was not appropriate to his station. His meaning the Prophet's station. It was not appropriate. However, I agree with this tafsir. Not the Shia one, if the Shias have a different, not blaming him. As for a mention of taunts from people, it was said, and you were fearing people, while Allah is more entitled to be feared by you. 37. In other words, when you knew that this thing is going to take place as a matter destined by Allah Ta'ala, without there being any apprehension or danger of his displeasure in that case, then simply because of the apprehension of taunts from people, such remarks were not appropriate that he gave to Zaid. I would like someone to have a look at this. It's not, your own religious scholars are saying it's not appropriate, yet they accepted him as a prophet. It is below the status of a prophet to do this. Right? Salahuddin? Now understand? So I'm going with the Sunni Hadith Tafsirs. The details of this event appearing above have all been taken from Tafsir Ibn Kathir, Qurtubi, and Ruh al-Mani. As for the particular tafsir of the verse, this you were concealing in your heart what Allah was going to reveal, that is the thing that he kept to himself, was the intention that should Zaid give the divorce, he will marry her in accordance with the divine decree. No one is contending that it was not in accordance with the divine decree, not even your religious scholars. But this tafsir was reported by Tirmidhi, Ibn Abi Hatim, and other hadith experts from a narration of Sayyidina Ali Ali ibn Hussein, Zain al-Abidin, the fourth Imam of the Shias. And its words are as follows. Allah Ta'ala had informed the Holy Prophet through revelation that Zainab is going to be divorced by Zaid. Not that I agree to this. And after that she was to be married to him. Ruh al-Mani from Tirmidhi. But why then in 36 even force her to marry Zaid against her will? That tafsir that comes from the Shias, that she was forced against her will. She didn't want to marry Zaid. Right? Then we are told here, so why would the divorce take place? Why would Allah inform him that you would marry that Prophet Muhammad would marry Zainab? This is not right. Once you're given an order, the believers, you cannot oppose him. You're supposed to carry out your marriage duties. And this is, in this case, very important. You don't have a choice here. It's not just about accepting the marriage proposal. Surah, I'm talking about Surah, this Surah 33, verse 37. What I understand is what your religious scholars are saying here, tafsir experts, giant tafsir experts, criticizing Prophet Muhammad, that it is below the status of a prophet to do this, which he did, and we're told in Surah Azab, ayat 37, telling Zaid to keep his wife and fear Allah, while he himself was hiding in his heart out of fear for the people. Those are contradictory statements. Do you understand what your tafsir people are, giants are criticizing here? Who? Salahuddin. Do you understand? Or are you going to? This is not me. I understand what your tafsir people have said, your giants, eminent religious scholars, tafsir experts. So I'm not, Salahuddin is like, I'm not sure what you did understand from Sunni tafsir. But can you be sure of what your tafsir experts have said here, criticizing Prophet Muhammad on this? That is below, and Allah rebuked Prophet Muhammad. It is below the Prophet's status to have done this. And said this, which is given in the ayat. They're just explaining, but they're criticizing this. because Allah rebuked him, saying, while you concealed in your heart, you know, and you feared the people, then it makes sense. That makes sense. Now do you understand what the tafsir, do you understand what the tafsir experts are doing here? Criticizing the Holy Prophet and saying that Allah rebuked him here. Because he did, although scared, it's not in, it's below the Prophet's thing to be scared of the people. Because in Surah Maida at 54, we're told, they do not fear the censor of the censorers. So even your Quran experts are saying, in the Tafsirs is showing that he should not have done this. So now are you sure what I mean? Or what your Quran, forget what I mean. What I have understood about this, right? Salahuddin, waiting for your answer here. Salahuddin, brother. Brother. Have I understood your tafsir right, properly? Right? Yes? Salahuddin. Have I understood? Now, are you sure that I've understood the criticism against Prophet Muhammad? It's below a prophet to do such a thing. We are told he did in the Quran ayat against Zaid. Allah Ta'ala had made his prophet know. No answer from Salahuddin. When you take time and when you don't answer like this, you are evading the points that your own Quran experts have made. It's in the tafsir. They're just giving the ayat, this part. It's your own. You are evading. Huh? Do you understand what your tafsir, Sunni tafsir, religious scholars are saying? Because I understood it, I think. Do you understand? Allah Ta'ala made his Prophet know that Sayyidina Zainab will also become one of his blessed wives. After that, when Zaid came to him with a complaint against her, he said, fear Allah, keep your wife. This is in question here by the tafsir. Do not divorce her. Thereupon Allah Ta'ala said, I had made it known to you that I shall have her married to you, and you were concealing in your heart the thing that Allah was going to disclose. He's stopping, he's being an obstacle. That's why a poor counselor, marriage counselor to said, so here, was going to disclose. The majority of commentators, Zuhri, Bakr ibn al-Ala, al-Kushairi, and Qadi Abu Bakr ibn al-Arabi have adopted this very tafsir, that is, the mention of the thing he was keeping to himself was but this intention of marriage under divine revelation. Counter to this, there are narrations in which the words, and you were concealing in your heart, have been explained as love for Zainab. About this tafsir, Ibn Kathir has said, we did not like to mention these narrations as none of these is sound. Then the words of the Quran themselves lend support to this very tafsir mentioned above on the authority of Sayyidina Zain al-Abidin, because in this verse Allah Ta'ala has himself said very clearly that the thing hidden in the heart was what Allah Ta'ala is going to disclose. And the thing that Allah Ta'ala disclosed in the next verse, 37, is nikah, or marriage with Sayyidina Zainab. As said in, we gave her into your marriage, Ruh al-Mani, to protect oneself against taunts thrown by people is praiseworthy unless it affects some objective of the Sharia. A question arises here as to why the Holy Prophet chose to conceal this matter, which became the cause of divine displeasure, I'm not the one saying it. Only to avoid the taunts of a hostile people. You see, it does not become conceal this matter which became an objective of the Sharia, unless it affects some objective. To protect oneself against taunts thrown by people in praiseworthy, unless it affects some objective of the Sharia, here it doesn't. Oh my, Sozo is here. Sister, have faith and peace to yourself. Have hope. God loves you. Do not let negative thoughts, I cannot control it. I've tried my best, infiltrate your mind. You are just discrediting my all that I've said about my case, Sozo. Believe in God Almighty. Sorry, I cannot do such a thing. Oh my God. But here, please, Sozo, don't divert my attention. Believe in God and all this. Don't shove these things in my throat without evidence. Who wants negative? You don't have any negative thoughts? Even this, believe in God Almighty. Which God? Christian God, Muslim God, which God? Everyone is saying believe in God, the religious people. Could be coming from Shaitan, what you are saying. Sorry, Sozo. Believe in God. It's coming from Shaitan. How to believe in God? Blindly? Sorry, do you see the fallacy in what you've said? There are so many religions, then you'll say, come to our Christianity, Jesus loves you. Okay, now look at this. I agree to all this, Sunni explanation. And I see that what they've said, that's all. I understand what they've said here. This much comprehension I have, even if I go mad and have been. Sozo, do you believe that there are people who go insane? It's not their fault. Covert narcissists are there. Gaslighting. Others' will is there. They impose their will, the malicious things on others, imposing how they can affect the mind of a person. How can you avoid negative thought infiltration when there are so many negative people, treacherous and whatnot in the world? We're walking on a precipice of treachery, deception, dishonesty. For their own self-interest, they can be defending their religion, talking against others. Here is a good example. Although I understand the Sunni hadiths more than the Shia, but then we have the Sunnis criticizing, hating Shias and saying they're not Muslims. And why do the Shias criticize the Sahabas when their own prophet here has failed? And it's from their Tafsirs. And I agree to them. It's not that I don't agree to this part. I agree. Now I understand the ayat. I had a problem understanding the ayat when I was a Shia. My mother and I think I got it from my mother, not my father, to see the truth and have the courage to change a lie into the truth. And so thanks to my mother's leniency and truth, honesty, part of her, like she was very beautiful inside out. You see, she did not shove it in me, use punishments. She did, but against this religion, like I had to tell her to stop praying when we were in London because she was crying, getting nervous breakdowns like anything during the prayers, Zohar, Asar prayers. I had to go down, get Nadia Ali. She wanted water, so I would go down on the ground floor. We had the kitchen, get water for her, then recite Nadia Ali because I learned Nadia Ali in an Iranian school in Karachi. I was 2.5 years. My mother had put me there. So by then I knew in my childhood in London when I was like 6, 7 years old, I knew Nadia Ali. I would blow and then it wasn't helping her. I told her once, now please Amma, stop this prayer. I didn't know it was obligatory and all this at that time. It just didn't occur, or if I knew at that moment when I told my mother, please stop saying namaz. You cry so much, and it's not good. So my mother was very, she wasn't. I wasn't shoved this religion blindly and become biased and prejudiced and dogmatic bigots. So that's why I didn't become a bigot. So that's why as a Shia, when I read Surah Azab ayat 37, my mother was very lenient and very moderate. So I could question that. I don't understand. What is this? Reading the Quran in English? Quran ayat in English? Salahuddin, do you understand what your tafsir people are saying? That it is below a prophet to do this. According to this rule, when doing an act may cause misunderstanding among people or may invite their taunts, then in order to protect the faith of people and save them from the sin of throwing taunts, it is permissible to avoid that act. Okay, subject to the condition that this act itself should not be one of the objectives of the Sharia, and no religious injunction of halal and haram is related with it. Even though the act in itself be praiseworthy, in this matter a precedent exists in the Hadith and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet, who said, when the Baytullah was constructed during the period of Jahiliyyah, several things have been done contrary to the original structure laid out by Sayyidina Ibrahim. First of all, some part of Baytullah was left outside the constructed area. Then there were 2 doors for people to enter, and inside the Baytullah in the original foundation plan of Ibrahim, one towards the east and another towards the west, because of which There used to be no difficulty with the entry in the exit from Baytullah. The people of Jahiliya made two unwarranted changes in it. They blocked the western door totally and raised the eastern door, which used to be at ground level, so high that no one could enter inside it without the help of a ladder. The purpose was to let only those they permitted to go in. The Holy Prophet said, had there been no danger of throwing neo-Muslims into misunderstanding, I would have raised the Baytullah once again in accordance with the Abrahamic foundation. This hadith is present in all authentic books. From this we know that it was to save people from misunderstanding that the Holy Prophet abandoned this intention of his, an intention which was otherwise praiseworthy in the light of the Sharia. And against this there came no admonition from Allah, which also shows that this conduct of his was acceptable with him. But this matter of reconstructing the Baytullah in accordance with the Abrahamic foundation was not something among the objective of Sharia, nor something relating to the precepts of halal and haram. As for the event of the marriage of Sayyida Zainab, there was an Islamic legal objective to be achieved therewith, that is, to refute an evil custom of the Jahiliyyah and to dispel practically and openly the erroneous notion of marriage being unlawful with the divorced wife of an adopted son. The reason is that eradication of wrong customs dragging on and on among peoples for ages becomes actually possible only when it is implemented practically and demonstrated openly. The divine command had unfolded to fulfill his objective in a perfect manner in the case of marriage of Sayyida Zainab. On the basis of this deposition, the apparent dichotomy between the abandonment of the reconstruction of Baytullah and the implementation of the marriage of Sayyida Zainab as divinely ordained stands resolved and answered. And it seems that the Holy Prophet took the oral communication of this injunction. So this is about that part. Now I've said, but this part, and then where's the other, any other narrations on this? Commentaries, sorry. Where is it? Let's go back. Go back here. You see, Alusi, where's Alusi? Where did I read Tafsir? It's not becoming of the Messenger of Allah, because he was already told that you're going to marry Zainab, right? He already knew. And even if he didn't know, but your experts, hadith, they say he knew, right? To give a command to Zaid to keep his wife and fear Allah, while he himself is fearing the people. It's double standards. It's two-faced. It's hypocrisy. Okay, here we have Quran 33 verse 37 explanation. For those looking for commentary to help with the understanding of Surah Azab, Ayah 37, we've provided two tafsir works below. The first is the tafsir of Abul Ala Maududi, the second is of Ibn Kathir. So Ala Maududi on Surah Azab verse 37, O Prophet, call to mind when you said to him, whom Allah had favored and you had favored, cleave to your wife and fear Allah, and you concealed within yourself for fear of people what Allah was to reveal. although Allah has greater right that you fear Him. So when Zayd had accomplished what he would of her, we gave her in marriage to you, so that there should not be any constraint of the believers regarding the wives of their adopted sons, after they had accomplished whatever they would of them. And Allah's command was bound to be accomplished. 67. The discourse from here to Surah Azab, ayat 48, was sent down after the Prophet had married Zainab. The discourse from here to Surah Azab, ayat 48, was sent down after the Prophet had married Zainab, and the hypocrites, the Jews and the mushriks, had started a relentless propaganda campaign against him. While studying these verses, one should bear in mind that, you see, also this, they're blaming the Jews and hypocrites and mushriks, had started a relentless propaganda campaign against him. While studying these verses, one should bear in mind that the fact that this divine discourse was not meant for the instruction of the enemies who were engaged in willful campaign of vilification and slander and falsehood to defame the Prophet intentionally and to satisfy their rancor. But its real object was to protect the Muslims against the influence of their campaign and to safeguard them against doubts and suspicions. Evidently, the word of Allah could not satisfy the unbelievers. It could give peace of mind only to those who knew and believed it to be Allah's word. There was a danger that those righteous people also might be confused and influenced by the objections that were being raised by their enemies. Therefore, on the one hand, Allah removed all possible doubts from their minds, and on the other, taught the Muslims as well as the Prophet himself how. So he was teaching the Prophet himself how they should conduct themselves under the circumstances. 68. It refers to Zayd as has been mentioned clearly below. In order to understand how Allah and the Prophet had favored him, it is necessary here to relate his story briefly. He was the son, so we don't need the story. Zainab then sold Khadija, Hakim, Zayd in his service. Okay, and then please ask the boy, the Prophet said. So all this is not needed. Afterwards, seen of this person, I cannot prefer anyone else. And so Zayd remained, this is Zayd's story. Zainab paid her dower. Service of, this is what Allah has alluded in the verse, saying, upon whom Allah has bestowed favor and upon whom you, Muhammad, O Muhammad, have done favor. Now 68. These words are said when the relations between Zayd and Zainab had become very strained, and after making repeated complaints, Zayd had finally told the Prophet that he intended to divorce her. Although Zainab had accepted to be married to him in obedience to Allah and His Messenger's command. It's a command which should be carried out in marriage. I've done 2, 3, 4 hours, so many live streams. I mean, if you add up the hours. So it's a command. It's a command that she could not overcome her feeling, but it's a command. She could not overcome her feeling that Zayd was a freed slave. But you cannot afford this in Islam. To disobey, equivalent to disobeying Allah and His Messenger. In the marriage now, she could not overcome her feeling, and I've spoken about this, criticizing this, that Zayd was a freed slave who had been brought up by her own family, and she, in spite of being the daughter of a noble Arab family, had been wedded to him. Due to this feeling, she could never regard Zayd as her equal in matrimonial life. and this caused more and more bitterness between them. Thus, after a little more than a year, the marriage ended in divorce. But can you say what? I mean, these are believers. So if you go against the command of Allah, what happens to you? You become a disbeliever, right? Some people have misconstrued, now another. Some people have misconstrued this sentence to mean this. The Prophet desired to marry Zainab and wanted that Zaid should divorce her. But when Zaid came to the Prophet and said that he wanted to divorce his wife, the Prophet stopped him from this only half-heartedly. And at this Allah said, you were keeping hidden in your heart that which Allah intended to reveal. Okay, this is for some people misconstruing. Now we come to the real meaning. The real meaning, however, is contrary to this. If the sentence is read with verses 1, 2, 3, and 7 of this surah, so we read the 1, 2, 3, 7, and 7 verses of the surah, one can clearly see that in the very days when bitterness was increasing between Zaid and his wife, Allah had hinted to his prophet that when Zaid had divorced his wife, he would have to marry the divorced lady. But since the prophet knew what it meant to marry the divorced wife of the adopted son in the contemporary Arab society, how much do you want me to read Salah ad-Din? And that too at a time, do you even care to give me an honest reply about this? You said you knew your ahadith, you are hadith, right? Become jealous of him. Okay, and that too of a time when apart from a handful of the Muslims, the entire country had become jealous of him, your prophet. He was hesitant to take any step in that direction. That is why when Zaid expressed his intention to divorce his wife, the Prophet said to him, fear Allah and do not divorce your wife. Because 36 ayat, you cannot divorce, right? It's already a command of Allah and the Messenger, what they have decided. So I thought this, but what has happened here? What he meant by this was that Zaid should not divorce his wife, so that he was saved from facing the trial. Otherwise, in case the divorce was pronounced, he would have to comply with the command and thus provoke a severe Prophet Muhammad would have to comply with the command of Allah. We gave her in marriage to you, and thus provoke a severe storm of criticism and vilification against himself. But when the Prophet deliberately forbade, the Prophet knowingly made haram, commanded Zaid, deliberately forbade Zaid to divorce his wife, as we can see in the ayat. It's a command. He deliberately forbade Zaid to divorce his wife so that he himself might be saved from what he feared and would cause him defamation. Can you blame the Jews and all vilifying him? Oh, but they're saying on other things. God knows what thing. On this thing, right? That he would. But here, but deliberately forbidding Zaid to divorce his wife, they have another chance to criticize, because the religious scholars are even criticizing this. Your own. And this is true, right? What except for the recent religious scholars, I don't know why they don't bring this out. They're more dishonest than the ones who went by hook or crook. Don't reveal this. I don't know what you are saying. I don't understand how you understand. What words, Saladin? Who taught you like, I must say, such uh, calculating way? You know, very calculating. So this says, sister, forget about Colt Hofer and carry on with your own life. You have a mission, get on it with it. Thank you, Sozo, very much. God bless you for that. Yeah, but I can't, something here. I have had a nervous breakdown since then or something. I haven't, it's not even, it's worse than before. I can't wash my, I can't, it's like getting worse and worse. It will take time to, the shock and the trauma on top of what I was going through in this. So that's going to take time to forget. There's some energy here also that won't let me forget because it was a sensitive case of mine. But really, who is he? But when the Prophet deliberately forbade Zaid to divorce his wife so that he himself might be saved from what he feared would cause him defamation, Allah found this below the high position that he wanted his Prophet to enjoy. Allah, that's very true. Now I understand. At least they accept this. Because I couldn't for the life of me understand. Because Zaid has to obey the command. This is the second one. Above it is a command. Below this part, this ayat, 37, 36 above the ayat. Nobody can control your mind unless you allow them to do so. Yeah, but I was in a very sensitive situation of mental illness. You see, hope you can understand that the influence, the psyche, how it goes absurd. The mind sometimes goes wild without you wanting it to go wild. Right? Can you stop your thoughts? Can you stop your thoughts? If you find deceptive people, if you are disturbed about something, it's going to get to you, right? If you are in the company of deceptive, dishonest people, what will happen to you if you are an honest person? Wouldn't that affect your feelings? Nobody can control your mind unless you allow them to do so. Be the master of yourself and the captain of your ship. But somebody can disturb you, right? I haven't yet been able to be the master of myself and the captain of my ship. But the dishonesty around and all that I saw can really disturb the living daylights. No, but can you also control your own mind? Huh? Sozo, can you control your thoughts? If you have, then, then you're like a Jiddu Krishnamurti, God realized. How do you control your mind? Your thoughts? You're asking too much from me right here. For now. Cases. This means that you people have no regard for mental ill, challenging, traumatized people. You just want to order them around and say are you a success in your life? Like you got over if you came across a covert narcissist. If you are a victim of covert narcissist, nobody can control your mind. Through gaslighting and all that, they cannot drive you crazy, making you think that you are crazy, you are the criminal. How many have been incarcerated, driven mad? Do you understand, Sozo? That also. Sozo, do you understand? Taking people in your confidence. What is my case? Do you understand my case here? You can influence, the environment influences you. Of course, no one can control your thoughts, but they can influence your thoughts. They can influence you. You can try hypnosis, suggestions. If one goes to an expert hypnosis, one who hypnotizes you, hypnotic, what do you call him? Hypnotist, right? You are all influenced. You say Jesus loves me means you are Christian. You are influenced by your religion, right? Christianity. And your conditioning also may be coming from something you've been influenced. There is an effect going on in you, environmental effect on you, your religion, your habits, your genes, your conditioning, your hormones. The other day, Colt Hofer himself was saying some women have this problem, right? That their hormones, they become very sensitive, emotional. It affects your life, your behavior. Certain incidents in life, like accidents, trauma, it affects you. It takes time to come out of it. Even this, I'm in a shock. It will take time, acceptance of this. Religion. But when the Prophet deliberately forbade Zaid to divorce his wife so that he himself might be saved from what he feared would cause him defamation, Allah found this below the high position. Do you understand, Salahuddin? This is not Shia commentary, this is not my commentary here. What I'm reading out from your Tafsirs about this Surah Ayat 37. Another point is, Allah found it. So can you blame the Jews even for vilifying and spreading, like I come here and expose that this is a false prophet? First of all, as a Shia also, I could not understand how he could do this in one breath. That is, to tell Zaid, give a command to him, order him to keep his wife and fear Allah, and then goes on fearing. And my father told me, this is the wisdom of Allah, you cannot question it. In this, as a Shia, it's like talking like a Sunni. But even the Sunni experts, what would you say? Old time, beginning ones have revealed this, what Allah. So this makes sense, and it's below a true prophet to do this, right? Can Sozo, can someone not disturb you? If I come to, if I deceive you, I come to your place, I show you that I'm a good friend, I'm crying for you, and then can someone not like disturb you if I betray you? Huh? Would that not be disturbing for a while? But you'll get out of it, right? Because we all want to get out of that. We don't want to stay in pain, suffering. But when the Prophet deliberately forbade Zaid to divorce his wife, I agree to the Sunni Tafsir. He deliberately forbade Zaid. This is not my Tafsir. Salahuddin, where are you now? Are you going to deny this? I am not sure. Ooh, goodness. Look at how he evades the criticism that is present in his own tafsirs about Prophet Muhammad in this case. Very cleverly evaded by Salah ad-Din. He said initially when he came here, some weeks ago, or a month or so, that he knows his ahadith by the letter, and he's Ahle Ahadith. He's Ahle Hadith. Athari. You mean the Athari? Atharis, which Ibn Qatir comes from. Or the Atharis, however you may. Sorry, I have to put something in my mouth. The Atharis, however you may pronounce. Ibn Qatir, the historian, Islamic historian, has given in detail, which helps me to find out that Prophet Muhammad was a rapist of Zainab. How he got married. Nikaha. What is nikaha? Using Allah. So now we can detect, right, and infer that this prophet was weak. He cared about, even though, the Sharia, even though the Islam, he cared about his own self. That's why he hid in his own self. His own self is weak here. And a poor counselor, marriage counselor to Zaid. This is not a true prophet. Allah is rebuking him. He has failed here to come up to the standard of a true prophet in your own words, I'm saying it in my own words. Just add it. It's not very difficult to see. Even the Shias, it's lying, hiding about this, giving it another interpretation. But they could But then what is this that the Prophet has commanded Zaid initially in this ayat? Fear, keep your wife and fear Allah. The Shias fail to explain that. I got it from the Sunni Tafsirs. Do you know what lies we were told for their own interest? This means, God, there's these things on my, what is, Ash? So, my goodness. Allama Alusi. I'll just skip some. Here, we have it. Allama Alusi in his Ruh al-Mani has also given the same meaning of it. He says this is an expression of displeasure on abandoning the better course, which was that the Prophet should have kept quiet or should have told Zaid to do as he liked. The displeasure amounted to this of God. God is displeased with the Prophet in this matter, this part of the ayat. That's why he reveals. Now, Aisha, bringing Aisha's hadith. These are all your critics, right? Allama Alusi, Ruh al-Mani. Who is he? And this is in the Sunni. So please, you want to. So the Shias have lied and evaded this matter in the multilingual Quran commentary section under this ayat. Can you believe this? Chucked it out, the meaning. Not explained that the Prophet told Zaid to keep his wife and fear Allah. What deception, right? From the Shias, Shias did not address this like the Sunni Tafsir experts have and religious scholars have of old. Salahuddin has disappeared. Muslims. Oh, I have to change the. So this is. I have to change the title. Muslims, Muslims, Muslims. Let me just share this because I thought it was only going to be on my case, but I knew I would go to the. I didn't know. I was very tired. I have lots of things to do, but dishes are piling up. I don't have room for my garbage is piling up here. Bags. So after doing this, I cannot do anything much. So I have to give myself one day that I should be able to do my little work here, or half a day, or, because this is very painful. And when someone here comes here, I'm rendered crippled when they don't use reason and they don't see the critics, their own critics. They depart from this. It disturbs me. As it is very painful for me to do this, right? Muslims, you've got to see the truth. It is painful, I know, very painful, unbearable. But you must accept the truth, be courageous, because, you see, I would not have come here. I know that the world can throw many bad things at you, and what the punishments are for apostates And I'm in pain whether the other are or not. And they have suffered, like maybe their father, their mother did not don't accept them. We are told the Quran, in the Quran, through the Quran, that be stern with them. Some might take it in context, some might take it out of context. And there are other ayats on against apostates. But what would you Shias do? Would you be using taqiyya with your child? Nicely bring her or him to this religion? Puncturing her intellect. You avoided. The Shias also, it's pathetic. It's as pathetic as it gets with the Shias also. They lied. And they have evaded this part. It's really, really, and then you blame the Jews for vilifying him strongly, and some people being jealous of him, most of them being jealous of the Prophet. When the Prophet himself when Allah himself has rebuked him for, not coming up to the standard of a true Prophet. Oh my goodness. 71 is that divorced his wife. Alusi. I call him Alushi. Allama Alusi. Can you believe this? Abandoning the better course, which I agree. It's not that I don't agree. Now it makes sense, this ayat, which was not making sense. Thank God that thing happened with Colt Hofer, that it brought me now to the Tafsirs. Now I understand. I was reading Shia commentary. I couldn't for the life of me get this part. And I'm saying, is it a suggestion, a command? No one here corrected me saying that go to, it is in the, properly explaining. So, Salahuddin, where have you disappeared to? You see, you come here, salam, have a peaceful and good morning. How will I have a peaceful and good morning? Inshallah. What is important for me here? That your lies go on, you keep believing, and ex-Muslims, you know what, their parents will give them a hard time, or if they have, or, things like that. Society will give them, Muslim society. Yes, that is a reproach, as the Prophet was somewhat fearful of going against the Arab pagan custom. Salahuddin says, Allah want to make it clear that your adopted son is never your son, as pagan believes. But my point here is, brother, Muslim brother, Salahuddin, not Muslim, but human, in humanity, you are my brother. Brother, the point here is, I know this. What are you trying to evade? You're trying to erase. Are you going to erase your tafsirs? Delete them. Chuck them out. The Prophet Muhammad, your own tafsir people say that at this point he did not come up to the standard of what God wanted a prophet, him, come up to. How shall I put it this way? Or that a true prophet would come up to. Also, generally, he has failed. And the Sunnis make it very clear, Tafsirs, that he has failed. Now, I don't have to go to the divorce part and him getting, and then you look at this, how he got Zainab. It's rape. Also, Rihanna is a concubine. The Quran ayat says you can't keep secret lovers. I will be going to Rehana. I will be going to the Tafsirs. Now is the time, I think. Before it was like I had to give you from the source of Islam, the Quran. And if I didn't come here, if I would, that understanding of that Quran ayat, 37, this Quran ayat, here, this part. You know what the Shias have done? Deliberately evading this part. They are liars. It's pathetic. And I was reading Lady Audley's Secret, like the author, what he does, the writer, tries to bring out some sympathies for her. Although she's a murderer, she wanted to get rid of this husband, that person, to protect her secret. What was the main, like for the Shias? What would the Western world, Britishers, Americans be, Canadians be now sympathizing against these liars? They would have sympathies because they have a common, because 9/11, in London, bomb blast, they have a common thing with the Shias, right? Now the Western world is coming around to understand what Shia, what the fake Shia Islam is. It is fake, it's all false. But they have sympathies. Even this author, this Western author, can make you, bring you out to have that sympathy for Lady Audley in this literature, right? I would be all alone. I'm all alone here. But Shias and the Christians have a common interest here. Terrorists are coming up from these extremist groups from the Sunni side. Hezbollah is not such a threat to them, the Shia Hezbollah. You see, I'm alone here. And what Colt Hofer did, influential, he could know influential people in Canada. For some time, I slept last night without preparing food. I feel so hungry here. Anyways, I managed to get up and have some bread, just take it out from the fridge, and some cheese, as I managed to get up for my tea. I wasn't going to eat because I was out of balance. So even Lady Audley's, you see, you will have a soft corner for Lady Audley. How the West was Audley. Lady Audley's Secret. Sorry, I misspelled it. So what the author does, Mary Elizabeth Braddon, poverty, sympathize, brings you to sympathize for Lady Audley's, right? For Lady Audley. Poverty. Partiality, Shias. The Western world is not going to see this, doesn't want to see it right now. Against Shias. Wouldn't want me to do this or say anything. They have a common interest. And one lady, Ex-Shia, from Pakistan, they've gone to the British about this genocide in Pakistan against Shias. The Muslim world has failed to help the Shias. Even Iran. Like I was saying, where's Iran? In Pakistan, right? So you have a common interest. There's a lot against me. I'm alone here. Salahuddin comes with this. I'm not sure what you did understand from the Sunni Tafsir. Please, can you be simple? Come here, please. Now you've disappeared. You won't answer me. It is so disturbing, so sad for me. So, my last breath I'm giving here. I'm supposed to take my garbage out today. I'm supposed to wash my the spoons are now. I've kept one in the one or two in the, because I can't wash. I've kept it in a glass of water. My spoons are going out, teaspoons. I haven't washed. I'm in shambles here. The disturbance was immense. I didn't need that. First, they told me, look, you first take care of your health. Try to work on healing and all this instead of even making one group. Some friend of mine said, you're going to ask for more trouble. On Facebook, in the beginning, another friend who had introduced me to Facebook himself said, look, be careful, the Americans, your privacy, the American government. And you could get into more trouble by, so other friends said, this is, what are you saying on Facebook? I could get into trouble here. The ego. Yesterday, after that Paramahamsa thing, I was like, if suppose my cousin genuinely feels sorry and all this, and okay, but you can't trust a Hindu guru. How can you trust a cousin who now he may be singing for me, something like, Tu kahe agar जीवन भर मैं तेरे. Okay, ego. You see, if this cousin, it's all the time in this Shia Sunni that you get married. If this cousin really loved me and the ego doesn't like a rejection, then what it does is ego has a thing that it could say that no, I really apologize. So I say, okay, you apologize, I accept your apologies, you are a cousin, thank you, this, that. I never cursed him in my heart, I never abused him. It's only here on right, when I brought my case out, I was shouting and abusing. So then you see the ego, like now even the sheikhs would be like, we think she should marry him. You know what I mean? But if you have a true, you are like, you would say, no, I want her to marry the person she loves. And if she wants to be alone and live alone, we can help her, support her, as a cousin, as a family. But I shouldn't have that apprehension or fear that, oh my God, they're going to come, I'll have to sacrifice. Because will with God, Paramahamsa Vishwananda's recent, you see how the ego sometimes can be very good. Read Khalil Gibran, the priest. Shaitan can come in such a good, humble form. But you're telling the other person you're giving a story that really deeply, I was like, I got up and I was like, I'm going to commit suicide last night. Because they're expecting me, maybe, for example, if they could, like this cousin of mine, right? He's reformed. Okay, there are people like me also, I have shopping addiction, this, that. But no Muslim can say that I will support her. For there was a person in London, Hasad Khan, and Janelle, who said that your individuality, we love it. We love your own power that you have inside of you. You are you are individual. We were not saying that you don't. The person did say you should socialize and come with us. Hasad Khan did tell me you should come with us to the pub, socialize, and all this. But then in the end, Janelle admired somehow. You see, that would be something. That wouldn't be ego. Then Hasad Khan, when I was going for my luggage, and a friend from the hostel man gave me company. He was clapping, making his girlfriend and others in a group. They stuck there, like, out of the window, and was clapping, and yeah, like he wanted me to, go out with this. I was like, he's a brotherly friend, brotherly friend. So, you see that. I can forgive the person, but you're expecting the other person to love a person, or forget love. Love is nothing. Love is not important. The story that Paramahamsa Vishwananda gave us in India in his satsang blew my mind out. Because you mean to say that, like that Nanga Bai will come here, ma'am, make me a driver. What if he's disguised as my cousin, right? What if he's disguised? The sheikhs are going to sympathize and say, why doesn't this girl? No. Arranged marriage. You can't say no to the Shia. But their sympathies will be with this reformed person. And now what will they want? That I get married to him. Right? That's the ego of that person. I said, hoshiyar, hoshiyar rehna. Beware, beware, beware. Be wary. Because that person would say, no, I want her to marry who she loves. Whether then it, succeeds or not. But now I'm too old. I'm not worthy to get married. There's no one, like even my cousin would not come and say that we support you as an individual. But we support, so the society comes and supports us. No. If they say, we want you to marry him, then it's the ego. You see how clever the ego is. And then Paramahamsa Vishwananda was talking about this man, another's desire, princess's desire, and the wife, ex-wife, who didn't accept him because he was Bendu or something like this, right? Yeah, ignored, like not. So she, whatever reason, I can't remember now with Paramahamsa Vishwananda, first wife, they did a drama. So what is a drama now? Where does the drama come from? Ego. Paramahamsa Vishwananda never said in his satsang that the princess started to love this person, but desire to marry him because of his valor, courage, stopping the elephant, taming the elephant with a stick. This is all self-interest. This was their ego. Drama happened between. Then the ex-wife found out her father came, and they wanted to marry. They desired to this man back for and the drama. Where does this? So the desire and the valor and the drama took place. The ego always does the drama that I want to marry him, I want him back because he's so brave, this and that. He was my husband. The princess, what did Paramahamsa Vishwananda say? Desired him, desired to marry him, not love. It's because of a certain talent or certain thing in him. You see, and then I was like, you just mutilated me. You say Radhe, in the end, after the satsang was over, I felt so mutilated, crippled. Then I said, he's not, whatever now, a personal thing, but that is not even a God. You see, you cannot desire, for desire get married because today what if that that talent is gone in him? What is it? What if it goes away? And at this point also, right? And what if this talent? Because I'm not like that destined person who submitted his will to Allah, God. But you see what Paramahamsa Vishwananda did not mention. Like the police came and said this, in this chapel or in this temple, it's not safe to sleep here. Yeah. So he had to protect himself, right? The police, so he would protect. But if, let's say, some people came and sodomized him, he'd say, it is the will of Allah. It is the will of God. But then why did he start fighting the elephant? To protect someone else. But himself he might not protect. It is the will of Allah. Maktub, what is written. Like Paulo Coelho. I mean, in his Paulo Coelho, what I mean to say is that Maktub, the character, it is written. It is written for me. So, this is very, very dangerous. Paulo Coelho writes, it is written, right? Maktub. What is the word? It is written. You see, ego can come in various ways. But the written, maktub, the merchant said finally, what does that mean? What does that mean? You would have to have been born an Arab to understand, he answered. Maktub. I was like, you just killed me. No, He didn't kill me because my ego, I cannot say I'm aligned with the will of Allah. So he made me feel so guilty that I'm not aligned, ungrounded, Paramahamsa Vishwananda. But what he has done is killed my love, my heart. I mean, the feeling is there for someone else, right? But I can't meet them. So what the ego can do? Still the ego. If you desire someone, can you not ask them what they desire? He's like faltu. He's this man is like, you know, is it the will of Allah or is it the will of the people? The world, in the world. So this also, yeah, last night I wanted to commit suicide. I was definitely going for the suicide thing. Until I saw through the, maybe, then they'll say she's egocentric. She has an ego. She has not, like, it's, for God's sakes, it's marriage. And this is the will of other, the desire of the princess, the desire of the ex-wife, the desire of the ex-wife's father, now to get him back. This is not the will of Allah. There's no God. So Hindus or anyone, and so, sorry, there's no God. So you cannot, there's no God. I'm now with the atheist side. On one hand, this is the will of the people, the world. What the world does to you, it's not the will of Allah or God. Maktub. So you can understand Maktub, but I don't. And Paramahamsa Vishwananda also, very bad with this. He just mutilated my love, me, my heart. Further, I wanted to die. I got up to have that powder I have. It will destroy my liver inside system. I could become crippled. I wasn't scared of that anymore. Maybe I'll do it some other time. Thank you so much. I will come back later until no, but I have to finish this. God knows who I'm helping, but इंसान ऐसा ज़िद्दी है. The human beings are so stubborn, and the ego very dangerous. They want things for themselves, and they without disregarding the will of God in themselves even. But their own desire they want. The other person is one with the. So no matter they desire you, you don't have an ego. You have submitted to Allah's will. My goodness. Okay, thank you very much. I'll continue later. My health